Hey everyone, Valentin Kuzub here, creator of ICMIZER and Postflopizer. In this video I'm going to introduce you to the new powerful features that we have added to the Postflopizer recently, which allow you to automatically find the optimal bed sizes on the flop, which would allow you to save a lot of time, because often you must spend some time choosing the right sizings, and now Postflopizer can help you with that. So without further ado, let's go to the advanced tab, because this is an advanced feature, and look at it, how it works. So in the bed size option in the flop and for out of position player and the in position player, we now have an option to add two special bed sizes, auto 1 and auto 2. So the auto 2 will find up to 2 optimal beds, auto 1 will find 1 optimal bed. And what is amazing about limiting the number of bets is that generally by limiting the number of bets, you are not significantly affecting the general EV of your strategy. What could be a mistake is if you don't have the right size. For example, if a board is calling for a big size, like 100% of the pot, and you only have 33% sizing, or maybe even 50% of the pot is your preferred sizing, you may be losing value. But with this feature, once you start the calculation, Postflopizer does a couple of additional steps. So now I have selected that we want to find the optimal bets for out-of-position player and the in-position player. So the first step, since the OP goes first, is to find his optimal bet sizes. So we have an interesting board, we have ace 8-5, and if you are not professional, you may wonder what is the optimal bet sizing here given our ranges. Like, how does this affect? The board is pretty dry, right? So the software has found the right sizing, and it says that the right sizing for out-of-position player is 100% of the pot. So if this was your intuition, you're pretty good. But if it wasn't, then Postflopizer has something to offer to you. Now let's see what it says for the in-position player. So the next step is the optimal bet for the in-position player. Once it is complete, Postflopizer will perform the normal calculations as if it was us initially who limited the options for the out-of-position player to be 100% bet or check, and for in-position player, the bet that we are about to find out, and the check. So let's see what is the optimal bets for IP. So for IP, it is 33%. So if you guessed that, you're pretty good. But on many flops, it is very not obvious what the optimal sizes are, because there are many variables that go into this process: the board structure, the ranges, and the positions of the players. So we can see that we have come up with the result. And with that, you are now seeing how the automatic bet finder works. It is pretty straightforward, it saves your time, it makes the strategy clearer, and it doesn't lose EV. Because let's compare this example with an alternative approach. Like a lot of players who do not understand what is going on like to add a lot of bet sizes to both players. They believe that if they add a lot of bet sizes, they are doing something good for the strategy. But in general, you need to have the right size available to the player so he can fully utilize his range equity. Like if he needs protection, he should have the big bet available. If he is pretty safe, he should have smaller bet size available, because the big bet may not work in some cases. So here I have created the template with a lot of bet sizes for both players. So let's see what the actual strategy will look like and why Postflopizer chose the optimal bet sizes automatically as it did in this case, and how different the EV will be to this pretty complex strategy to execute and a very simple strategy of just one size. So even if you're out of position or in position, in both cases you can use the pretty simple strategy, and you don't have to worry about this difficult splits of your strategy and how to remember that, because the more complex your strategy is, the more difficult it would be for you to execute it in the real table, because you would need to do some kind of complex pattern matching, like, does my opponent play like this? Is the board this? Is his range like this? Do I remember a proper size? How do I split here? Etc., etc. It gets very complicated and very fast. So we are looking at the process of calculation. We are seeing that indeed the optimal size for out-of-position player seems to be 100% of the pot. It is the preferred size. Smaller sizes have been removed by the solver in the process. They are currently utilized at 0%. Only the bigger sizes. And we can see that there is a certain shape, like 0, 0, 0, then 0.7, the bets appear, and then there is a peak here at 100%. Now let's look at this player, the in-position player. Since we have requested just one bet, we use a special algorithm for the in-position player. And we look at this chart, we can see there is preference for the smaller bet size. And since we have to choose only one bet, it is looking at this as a chart. It sees that there is some value in going higher, so it is definitely choosing 100%, as one bet wouldn't be correct. And choosing a smaller size wouldn't be correct because there is value in going higher. And especially here, we can see that there is some value going higher. So it chose 33%, which I believe is a smart choice, if you were to limit yourself to just one bet to simplify the strategy. And the curious question is, like, who lost how much EV and what happened? We can see that here EV is for hijack 0.34 and for cutoff player 0.62. So let's look at the automatic calculation, and we can see that it is the same. So as we can see, all of these options didn't really help other than complicate the strategy to extract more value. And it makes sense why, right? It is hard to argue that you can't achieve what you achieve with this strategy, with a single size bet of 33, with the proper percentage. What is curious is that if you look here, you can see that in this more variable strategy with multiple bets, the check may be slightly different, because what the solver does, it is balancing the check option with the bet option. So you may see that with many options, the check may be slightly different, or sometimes pretty different from the automatic optimal bet sizing, which will have just one or two bets. The check may be affected. So let's look. For out-of-position player, it was 93.4, and for in-position player, it was 46. So here it is 92.7, and for in-position player, it's 43. So it is slightly different, but generally, this is how the solver works. If you give it the proper size, it will find a way to get value. The other additions in this update include improved node locking performance. So let's say it was check, and we went to the turn, which brought us some interesting card, for example, a king of clubs. Now let's say we want to do a node lock. We want to lock hijack strategy to bigger bet size. Maybe he is not so passive as the GTO strategy suggests. So we go to edit strategy, we choose a pure betting strategy, and let's say he is aggressive with stronger hands. We lock the stronger hands, the sets, with two pairs, and with top pairs, top kicker, and let's also lock top pair, weak kicker. And we also auto-lock other hands, so we do not get recalculated. And we keep this lock previous action selected, and we simply click apply and calculate. And now you will see that Postflopizer will almost immediately find the proper adjusted strategy, since now we are using a very fast algorithm for node locks, and it includes turn and river node locks are pretty much instantaneous now. So you can see now we have this lock, the hijack is betting wider now, and the cutoff strategy has been adjusted. So these two are the biggest additions, and there are also some other additions. So if we go to settings, we can see that now we have settings like show stack in big blinds or in big blinds and chips. This will affect how we display tournament hands. And for bets per user request, we have added display of bets as percent instead of value, because sometimes it is easier to understand what the size represents in percentage of a pot, in comparison to looking at the value and doing the math yourself. Like if it was written 445 here, you may wonder what kind of percent is that. So this information was previously available in the tooltip, but now we can choose the percentage. We have also removed a lot of bugs, so this is a pretty exciting update, and I hope you guys will enjoy it. Valentin Kuzub, signing off. See you at the tables.